Welcome to the music of Let's Plays. This is a series where I'm going to be talking about different video games, the music associated with it, and the sounds that go into it, all the things that clearly identify the video games and separate themselves from something else. Today we're talking about Kingdom Hearts, so the title is going to be The Music of Kingdom Hearts, and I'm joined by my friend David.
Hello.
Also, my name's Billy. I guess I'm important. My friend David's going to be playing the game, and I'm going to be feeding him information about the game and tidbits of information, interesting things, and he'll be asking me questions that I'll be able to answer, hopefully, to the best of my abilities.
So what made you want to do this?
That's a great question. I've always had a wanting to do YouTube, talking about things and why I love them. And one of those major things just being music. I've played piano for 11 years and I went to school for music. I watched YouTube channels talking about, they were Let's Plays, people doing a lore through. So they were purely just playing the game, talking about the lore. Whenever they pick up an item, they start reading the information off of them and why it is like that, why the description is like that, and how it relates to the overall story, characters that you meet and how they are woven into the story and everything like that. And I thought that was really interesting. And then I found another channel talking about animations, and it's kind of the same thing, how the animations work with the story, why the animators animated characters like that, and how you can do it, what you can learn from it. I'm doing a Let's Play on the music. Hopefully it goes well.
So the lore and the animation both tell you what the story is about and how the story is demonstrated. Does music do that equally, or do you feel like music does that even more aggressively?
Music does it in a subtle way that you have to pay
Okay.
attention to it in order to really catch it. Let's go ahead and talk about this first song on the title screen, which is Dearly Beloved.
Okay.
It's the first song that plays in every single game, and it's played at the very beginning and the very end. You have the title with Kingdom Hearts logo, final mix, new game, load, back. I don't think back was on the other original PlayStation 2, because we're playing the 1.5 and 2.5. What is being shown is Sora, the original one for the PlayStation 2. I don't know what it was like for the Japanese version,
Yeah.
but he was on a beach, and we hear these waves in the background. And I don't think that works very well, because we're not on a beach. You see the little yellow underneath
Yeah.
his feet to represent sand, but then it's a zoom up. I don't think it works very well. For the original game, or for the PlayStation 2 version, he was on the beach with a little fish in his mouth. You can tell he's at a beach setting.
Okay.
The waves make sense. It works together.
Now, does this song play throughout the game?
It's never shown again throughout the game.
Okay.
It's shown throughout the series, the before and after. It's at the very beginning, the title, and it's at the very end when it's like the game in review.
Okay.
Right after you beat Ansem and save Kingdom Hearts, you are shown like a little scorecard of like how many Heartless you've killed. And this is the very first song that you hear when being introduced to any Kingdom Hearts game. So this is one of the many songs that we actually associate with
Okay.
Kingdom Hearts. We hear the song and you have to think Kingdom Hearts. There's so many different covers of it online, and they all sound amazing. This specifically has only one melody played throughout the whole thing that's looped. In other games, actually the game right after Rechain of Memory has a different melody played by itself and then overlapped onto this one. So it adds more, but I think I'll talk about that more if we ever get into that game, I guess.
When we get to that series.
Yeah, when we get to it. So, Dearly Beloved, great. We're gonna start letting the first cinematic roll. The song is called Hikari, which is Japanese for light.
So who sings the song?
Utada Hikaru is the person who sings this song.
Yeah.
She sings the song in the very first part of the game where you click new game, and then it does a whole intro sequence. This intro sequence is a little bit different. This is skippable. Like, you would usually just go straight into the game and you wouldn't even see this. But usually games have like an opening cinematic even just within the title screen. This is an instrumental version of Hikari. So Utada is actually quite famous for making songs in Japanese and English. So she made the Japanese version Hikari and the English version Simple and Clean.
Does she do mostly video game work, or does she do other pieces?
She does many other pieces,
Okay.
mostly for her own albums, but I believe this is what put her on to the main stage.
Okay.
So, because she, from this specifically, and two of her other songs, she made #1 hit, #3 hit, and #4 hit in some year.
So they didn't just get anybody for this?
No.
Okay.
Actually, the creator of this game, Tetsuya Nomura, specifically had her in mind.
Oh, he handpicked her, the creator?
Yeah.
Okay.
He handpicked her just to do this song for the game. He didn't have anybody else in mind. But this is literally the only song she did for the game, which is crazy to just want someone to do something for one moment in the game. They had a separate guy do the instrumentation for the song. Hikari and Simple and Clean are the same song, but they have different melodies because of the language.
Translation through the...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So she had to change the melody for it. So that's why maybe this instrumentation version of it sounds different from Simple and Clean, because the melody is different. There are only a few similarities.
Now, does instrumental get played throughout the game?
No, it doesn't. Only from the beginning, the opening cinematic. And this isn't unusual. Other games do it. I think some Final Fantasy games have it. If you stay on the title screen for a while, something will play. It's not unusual.
So you mentioned Final Fantasy. Do you feel like they were trying to mirror that, or are they trying to branch off and create their own thing?
That's one of the things that I wanted to talk about this game, is because it's mixing Disney-style music and Final Fantasy-style music, which seems like it'd be a hard thing to do, but they accomplished it.
Yeah, because you imagine these two totally different genres on the totally different spectrums. Do you feel like they do that well?
Yeah, amazingly great job. I'll reference the Extra Play who did this game for animation, and how there's the same difficulty with trying to animate. How you're animating some realistic version of Final Fantasy and very cartoonish version of Disney, and mixing them together. And it's a weird thought to have Sephiroth and Tigger on the same screen together and it not look weird.
Do you feel like they developed a Kingdom Hearts theme, or did they lean one side or the other?
They created their own theme.
They created their own theme. Okay, wow.
Personally, I do feel like there aren't as many Final Fantasy, though, as much as Disney, because we're purely going through Disney worlds throughout the whole game. And I think that's something in Kingdom Hearts 3 that they might be leaning more towards, putting more Final Fantasy and doing fan service for that.
Okay, so in the 1 and 2, there's Final Fantasy characters in Disney worlds, but number 3, we might see actually introduction of a Final Fantasy world.
Yeah, that's something that I'd like to see.
Okay.
We don't know anything for sure about Kingdom Hearts 3, but it's all the anticipation. It's so many years.
Yeah.
And it's still so many years away, I'm sure. So, Hikari, the song that played, the instrumental version, you were asking me questions about it earlier. It's how I described a theme throughout this game of darkness versus light.
Okay.
The specific name for this song, Hikari, is translated to light. I mean, it's different when trying to communicate words in different languages.
Yeah.
So it doesn't specifically mean light, but it does.
Okay.
Like an example that I'll bring up is Yugi and Yami.
Yeah.
Yami literally translates to dark, but Yugi is the light version of Yami. For any fans of Yu-Gi-Oh out there. So Yugi would be referred to as the Hikari of Yami. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So in this opening, how do you feel like they try to implement light into their theme?
I mean, that's a difficult thing to say, but the music overall has an upbeat feel. You have different sections using different sections of the orchestra. Obviously, the beginning part we just heard is violins.
Yeah.
We have little chimes in the background, little flutes that play this main melody right here. And it creates this soft, light, friendly type theme. And then later on, it'll get into darker, more marching, intimidating type music. And it's kind of like a battle going back and forth between those.
I've noticed that this song kind of has this triumphant build. Do you feel like you can add any more to that, the triumphant attitude of this song?
I guess you can put more of like a foreshadowing type thing overall. Like I was saying, the going back and forth. The song does end with that triumphant feel and in little parts throughout the whole thing, which is true. I mean, it's still a continuing story, but overall in this game specifically, you have that triumphant moment in the end, and this is setting up the entire story and the feel of the entire game. I didn't even expect to talk about this that much, but this is what I want to get out of it. I don't think there's much else to talk about it, though, except for the idea of it being light. I think that's, like, amazing. Like, I would have never thought about that unless I researched it, like, a week ago. So, it's the little things that, like, the titles, the way that they change the songs, the way that they introduce the songs, that really make the game great. And when you do research or hear more about it and think about it more, is what makes the game even better every time you play it. You can just take a few seconds to enjoy this. The cinematics mixed with all this and like what you are going to face in the game.
Now, are all these scenes scenes that you see in the gameplay?
Yes.
Okay, so all this is gameplay.
Yes.
Really?
It's not gameplay, it's the cinematics in the game.
Okay.
There's no gameplay. I mean,
so we're going to see this again in the game.
Yes. All of these.
Okay. That's rare. I feel like a lot of games show you things that aren't going to be in the game,
yeah,
and they get left disappointed.
Yeah. So we'll get into the first song of the video game, which is you start a new game. Um, little chimes that introduce you into it. Get that dreaming feeling, because that's what we're getting into. So this is Simple and Clean that's about to play.
Okay.
The instrumentation made into the song, or the song made into the instrumentation was translated into this song. So it's a different melody from the song that we just heard. So this song became very popular.
Yeah, I definitely
So
heard this song
popular.
growing up.
This made it to the top 5 in Japan. Their record, I don't remember the name, but it just
Oh, this is
through
a
the
totally
roof.
different change than the opening song.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's crazy to see or hear the change.
Yeah.
And Simple and Clean is quite a bit different. It's pretty tough to translate Japanese into English and keep the same melody. Utada talked about this and how it was difficult doing it, but she enjoys doing it. And that's actually why Nomura picked her, is because she can bridge that gap. He knew that she would be able to accomplish this.
Now, when I heard the opening song, the instrumental, I thought more Disney. Now, when I hear this song, I think more, Final Fantasy, more of a, Japanese vibe. What do you think about that? Like, what can you say about that? Is that intentional, you feel like, what they're trying to do?
I don't think it was intentional, but that is definitely something that, even if it was unintentional, it's something we could pick up. It's nice. The main thing, though, is that this song doesn't specifically relate to how the story is, like, especially this opening sequence. This isn't showing any of the game. This is just an opening cutscene.
Okay.
Introducing you to the
Is
characters.
this a prelude to introducing what the world we're going into, or is this describing Overture timeline, or just trying to introduce the characters?
This is just introducing the characters.
Okay, introducing the
We
characters.
saw the guy in the water, Riku. We are introduced to Kairi, and then our main character, Sora, who's falling almost into this dreamlike state underwater, which is exactly what we're getting into, and that's what the transition's all about. Especially with the very end of the song, where it's very upbeat, and then it goes straight into a very subtle.
So it's transitioning us into a brand new world, a
Yeah.
world that we're not familiar with before.
Yeah.
Oh, what's this? Okay.
So this is the world. This is the dream world. Most games start out like this. The specific name for this place is called Dive into Heart.
Okay.
So the song that plays is called Destati, which translates to awaken. It's Italian. Awaken is, so this song is talking about this process of you going through your dreamlike state, setting up the game. This is tutorial. It fits very nice, especially like it's an ominous type noise in the background to accompany you through this unfamiliar introduction. 3 other games do it. I don't remember which ones off the top of my head. The second game, where you play as Roxas, you have this same thing, Dive to Heart, this whole tutorial level. You have Birth by Sleep, where you play as Ventus, a character you probably don't even know. So,
Drop a link in the description box.
yeah. Let's see. There was something specifically I just wanted to point out about the princess on there. So you see Snow White surrounded by the 7 dwarves. She's sleeping. As
Okay.
as the story unravels, we find out that the dark side, which is controlled by Maleficent, is trying to capture 7 princesses of Heart in order to open up and take advantage of the power of Kingdom Hearts. So she has already captured 4 of them, and she has 3 left. And there's no way for us to know that at this, but it is communicated and foreshadowed right here.
So this is foreshadowing
Yes,
right now.
she is in a sleeping state because she has already been captured.
Okay, and with the theme Awaken already going.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's specific lyrics, but we can't hear them because this song specifically is more of a choir synthesized to the melody. It's not actual people speaking yet. And there's 3 parts to the song that loop. So this is a very calm first part. We're getting to know our character, the powers that we're going to get throughout the game, and how we're going to develop through it. Later on, it'll get to a little more upbeat, and then once we get into the fighting, it's going to be a lot more almost destructive sounding, or I don't know how to describe it. We'll see how it gets there. So what did you go with? Did you go with shield?
I went for a shield. I'm gonna give up this staff.
Nice. That's the route that I always take.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I do depend on magic a lot, but I mean, I don't feel like it's as necessary to have that extra MP. It's just how you use the magic throughout the game. So we have this. We don't know what's going on. We're falling into darkness.
I noticed a change in different genres from piano melody in the beginning of an instrumental of an upbeat Japanese song in English,
Yeah.
and we have this ominous music playing now. But I haven't seen a transition yet in the audience. Me right now playing, I feel like I'm still playing a Disney Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
Like this music is really subtle in describing its messages.
Yeah, it's takes a lot of paying attention to, but it's easily skippable to the average casual player. And I already had a love for this game, and everybody had a love for this game. And I'm just, every single time I'm playing it, I'm finding something new to love more about it, especially with paying attention to music. We're introduced to Heartless. The music doesn't change. It's still just that kind of same repetition for the regular melody. So we're fighting them, and we don't really know what happened. We just got introduced to fighting, and that's pretty much it. But because we've just been in a little fight, we're going to go into another fight. I don't know if the music changes, but we'll find out. But the more and more we fight, the more and more we understand, and that's why the music becomes more upbeat. We understand that we are in danger.
That was embarrassing. I had to lock in. I like the sound effects that are happening right now.
Yeah, these sound effects for the darkness is used all throughout the game. It's still used.
Unique, and it makes me it's a little creepy, a little terrifying to sound.
Yeah, usually the darkness is used as like a portal to transfer between places. Maleficent uses it, Riku uses it, all the organization use it, and it doesn't quite sound like a portal opening, but
no,
it does.
It does not.
It sounds like just darkness creeping in through regular space, and it's crazy how to convey that small sound in that small instant. If you hear these things from time to time while you're walking around, you hear the chains on you rattling while you're moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little sound of the chest dropping, and then once you pick it up, da-da-da-da. It's almost like a Legend of Zelda type thing.
Yeah, I've noticed that this is it definitely takes from a lot of different video games.
Yeah. It's more of like, there are video games that set up the foundation of sounds and how things should be, and it's universally used throughout other games.
There's a playful sound that happens when I hit it.
Yeah.
Right now I'm in a dark world listening to dark music.
Yeah.
But you don't really think about it until you actually like examine it. I can see a sense of play of light and darkness being subtly, the theme being pushed into even the sound effects of having a playful toy sound when I hit something, but going through this dark world. Oh, what's this?
So this is one of the major parts of the game, actually, that decipher your leveling system. So they just ask you questions and you answer them based off of personal things. I want to take a second though to talk about the last place that we were at, the circular thing we were standing on. There were 3 silhouettes of princesses missing.
Okay.
So those are the 3 that are going to be captured throughout this game. So that's why they're silhouettes and they're not in the sleeping position. I believe Jasmine.
Then there's Cinderella, correct?
Kyrie, not Cinderella. Belle, I think.
Belle.
I don't know, but there's a reason that
the correct answer would be in the text.
Yeah. But that's also part of the foreshadowing and how this dreamlike thing, something is being communicated to you, the character, that you don't realize it yet.
Okay. So there are a lot of like little hidden traits here, and okay.
Doesn't deal with music, but it's still great.
Okay.
Like how much effort was put into this game. So
where are we at now?
These people are gonna ask you. These are your friends that grew up with you on the island.
Okay.
So they're gonna ask you personal questions. So you can go to one of them right now. Learn how to talk to someone. So what's most important to you?
Let's see. What is most important to me?
Yeah, what is? Let me being number 1. Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Naruto thing to be.
Yeah. Is that more Bible than friendship for Naruto?
I don't know.
What am I afraid of? What if you take a long time to choose being indecisive?
It just gives
for
you
the comment section. I want you guys to tell me what your 3 answers for these would be. I'm really curious what your 3 answers would be.
Yeah. Personally, don't do it based off of the leveling system, because based off of what you choose, it'll tell you your journey begins at dawn. Your journey begins at midday.
This affects the gameplay.
Yes.
Really?
and your journey begins at dusk. So if you get it at dawn, that means that your leveling system will be faster for the first 50 levels and then slow down for the next 50
Oh, really?
levels. If you do midday, it's constant. It's a regular leveling system. If you do at dusk, it's very slow in the beginning, but it speeds up after the first at the last 50 levels. So
biggest fear, I guess I say, being indecisive.
that's mine too. Seriously.
What do you want out of life? Are we in Jersey?
Yes. You want to be number one. You're afraid of being indecisive. And you want to be strong. Your adventure begins in the dead of night.
So what does that mean?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that means at dusk. So you'll level up faster for the second part of the game.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. I mean, we're talking about music.
That's a fun
Music-
little thing. That's really interesting.
Yeah. But that's more of like for speed runs and stuff.
I do not know who that princess is.
That's Sleeping Beauty, I think. Those are the fairy godmothers silhouettes.
That's not Aurora, right?
Aurora. I think so. Yeah.
I feel like you should have known that.
We should know our Disney princesses, of course. My niece is named Aurora too, so I should know. But you see the vines like kind of surrounding her, like over
Yeah.
here. I don't know if that's supposed to mean something, but my guess is that she's in the process of being captured. But
I like this fighting
got-
music.
it's the same theme being played, just with a little bit more upbeat drums in the background, little trumpets, and the violins are a little bit more present, playing a melody. You're understanding you're going to be fighting in this game. Things are going to need to get a little bit more serious, and
Yeah.
that's where the fighting music comes in, and you're in the understanding now.
I like the sound of the orbs, collecting the orbs.
Yeah, how it heals you.
Yeah.
It gives that feeling. Save point.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
Sound of that's nice, yeah. These iconic noises from this game, traveling a light throughout the floor, and then this part. And then the music builds up back again. Alright, so let's continue on to the next part.
Okay.
So this part, I believe you fight your main enemy.
My main enemy. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I guess it isn't Belle that's going to be captured. Here we go.
Oh, what's this?
Yeah, this is the choir. I don't know what words they're specifically saying, but whatever it is always still following the...
I feel more of a dark
Yes.
feel with this.
Much more. It's become less ominous and more dark.
Yeah.
And particularly with this part, with that choir being a little bit more present and louder. I think the other thing to notice about him is Sora's opening his mouth. In other sequences, he would be like, ugh, ugh.
Okay, so he speaks.
His mouth's opening as if he's speaking, but no words are coming out. He's completely silent throughout this whole thing. So we got that darkness noise from his hand again, and we have this new noise that when hitting something. So whenever you're hitting his hand, you have a more...
It feels a lot darker.
It's like you're hitting something dark, but it does kind of sound cartoonish in a way. Actually, when you hit anything, now that I think about it, any Heartless, and I don't think that's specific to the shield though. That's specific to any weapon in general. The other thing we'll get into is Keyblades, because some Keyblades make slightly different noises when you use them. Like I think the Jungle Key from Tarzan has a unique bell noise in it.
Do we see this guy again?
Many times.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll fight him again towards the end, actually. But we see him a lot throughout the series. He is the main baddie within Kingdom Hearts. Nice job, strength up.
I like
this
that.
Little almost freeze frame. You hear the chains.
Now, why did that go away?
The weapon, why did it disappear? I don't really know. There's no specific thing. You can theorize about it, but I think this is really interesting right here because the music isn't loud and overwhelming. It's just the voice. It's almost like because they're telling you to give in, or they're telling you to don't be afraid. Like you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
This is what the music's trying to communicate, even though things were just intense. So I hope you enjoyed this. This is the music of Kingdom Hearts. If you liked it, let us know what your favorite part of this first section, the music specifically, what you like about it. Maybe there's something we didn't catch. It's a lot to pay
Or if you
attention
disagree
to.
with us.
Yeah, if you disagree. If you don't think the music's really that great. Or
Let me know why I'm wrong.
we add more to it that even the creators didn't intend for us to catch on to. like if there was differences with the very first song while fighting, like
Yeah.
they just put more intense music because that's what you do in fighting. But if you take it from like a story standpoint, you're being introduced to a Heartless and you don't really know what's going on, so the music is still just calm. And then you fight more of them and the music gets more upbeat, and then you fight the boss, which is at its peak, which is a very common thing for music. But if you take it from the story standpoint, it's you are the character experiencing these things, and this is the background music almost in your head that's going on. In this next scene that's going to happen, you find out this was a dream, even though it's kind of like you starting on your journey. You think it's a dream, and you wake up and you're like, this big black thing swallowed me up and I don't know what to do. It's crazy. You're freaking out because you were just in that intense moment.
Yeah, I noticed that while playing it, I definitely felt like I walked into the shoes of Sora as a protagonist, just like the music,
those big shoes.
encapsulating me, those really goofy shoes and the 5 Hot Topic belts.
Yeah.
I felt like I became the character through the music. You get chills while seeing some parts of the game, or you get goosebumps like while like listening to the intro.
Mm-hmm.
I feel seeing Sora go through those transitions are something that all users and players can relate to. Mm-hmm. So this is the music was really well done. It adds to the game experience. We only played a little portion of the game. Yeah. We barely did anything.
Yeah.
But yet I'm really excited about this game, excited about the series, and I really like where this is going.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching. Tune in next time.
This has been David.
And this has been Billy. And this was Overture, actually, the name of my channel.
Sounds good. Yeah. Make sure to drop your 3 answers to the questions that our 3 friends asked us. I want to know what you guys...
Yeah, we'll respond to them.
Yeah, we have nothing else to do.
Thanks for watching.